Welcome to our lesson on creating reports with Wise SCADA. As a first step, we go to Reports on the left side and click the New button to create a new report. The default query that appears comes ready to fetch all data from the database. We click the Compile button and then say Execute to send this query to the database. You can see the response returned from the database in the table here. So, where exactly does this data come from? These are being pulled from the data recorded in our project's database. There are 3 different database management systems available in Wise SCADA. Depending on your needs, you can use MySQL, SQLite, or SQL Server. SQLite is ideal for portable projects, especially due to its lightweight structure requiring no installation. It works entirely over the file system. When you look at the folder named SQLite inside your project folder, you can see that the database file has been created there. Thanks to this file structure, you can copy the project and easily move it to other computers, and you can run it there without any issues. However, databases like MySQL and SQL Server are more complex and powerful structures. To use these, you need to install the relevant software on your computer. If multiple applications are going to access a single database at the same time, then you should prefer MySQL or SQL Server. But if only this SCADA project will record and process data, SQLite will be the most practical and ideal solution. Now let's return to the main topic of our lesson, the report module. We had created our report object. For now, we are pulling all the data in the database. Let's open the screen. I had previously added a button to the page. We define the report we just prepared to the mouse down event of this button. Thus, a report will be created when the button is clicked. Let's add a panel to the page to see the results. From the report settings, I select the page where the report will be displayed and the target panel. I am starting the runtime. When I click the button, data is pulled from the database and as you can see, the table fills up. Of course, pulling all the data is not the correct method. Data in the database can reach gigabytes in size, so the system might get strained. Instead, we need to select only the date range we require. Here, we will use the where command for this filtering. You do not have to memorize these SQL query structures. You can easily generate the query you need by using AI tools. We have a column named timestamp in the table. This column shows the time the data was recorded. We will perform the filtering based on this. We enter greater than or equal to and open the tag parenthesis. Let me show you the preparation I made beforehand. I created 2 tags named start time and end time for date selection in reports. I also set their types as date time. We will use these in the query. I am adding the start time tag, using Ctrl+ key. We must not forget to add value to the end. Now we set up the logic, fetch data where record time is greater than start time and record time is less than end time. Again, we open the tag parenthesis and select end time. We remember to add value to the end. Yes, our date filter query is ready. When we compile, we can now see the instantaneous values of these tags within the compiled data. And when we execute this data to the database, we saw a wide list of data extending from 1 to 2865 as a result. Now let's adjust this filter close to the current time. Thus, we expect the number of incoming data to decrease. As you can see, a limited range starting from 2626 up to 2865 has arrived. The manual change I made here is only for testing purposes, because the actual query will work according to the current value of the start time tag in runtime. I made a manual intervention here just to test it. When I compile again, the values I wrote manually will be deleted. A second important issue is column selection. The asterisk here means fetch all columns in the database. However, We typically only want the specific columns we need. We can select specific columns by writing their names explicitly here. Now I want only the 3 columns I specified from the database. And only those 3 columns of data arrived. It may not be ideal for column headers to appear with technical names like tag 4, tag 5 in the report. You can assign new names using the as command to resolve this. For example, I will rename these as temp1 and temp2. When I run the query, as you can see, column headers became temp1 and temp2. It became more intelligible. So far, we had shown the report result in the table object. Let's add a chart as well. Let's visualize our report on both the table and the chart simultaneously. From the settings on the right, I select the chart object located on this page. And I associate it. Running the runtime. When I press the Create button, data is reflected on both the table and the graph. We successfully created the report. We completed the visualization on the screen. Now let's perform the process of saving this report to disk. You can select Excel or PDF as the format. If you wish, you can create both at the same time. You can add your company logo to the report design. You can enter titles and descriptions to appear in the top part, meaning the header section of the report. And in the middle column, you can select a dynamic tag. Thus, a tag value at the moment the report is created will be written into the report. You can also add longer descriptions to the bottom lines. This area is not limited to a single line. You can add as many lines as you want. Header is the top part, footer is the bottom part. I wanted to see the same information at the bottom part as well. I marked the option to include the graph in the PDF. And for the report to open automatically when created. Meaning, I preferred it to appear on the screen after the files are generated. We run the runtime again. We press the Create Report button. First, our PDF file was created and opened, then Excel opens as well. Yes, Excel arrived too. As you can see, the descriptions we entered appear in both the top part called header, and the bottom part called footer. Likewise, our logo, descriptions, and graphical data are present in the PDF report. These created reports are also physically saved to the disk. There is a folder named Report inside the project directory, and files are stored here. So why is the name of this folder Report? Because we had named the report object Report inside Wise SCADA. If we had changed the name of the object, the name of the folder it creates would have changed too. When we click on the report section in the editor, we see a line for each report we created and some status definitions. Done bit. When the report is created successfully, the value of the tag selected here becomes true. Fault. If an error occurs while creating the report, the tag you selected for this becomes true. Last recorded file holds the path and name of the last file saved to disk. For this, I created a tag named tag of string type. I adjusted the character length to 100. Now in report settings, I assign this tag to the last recorded file parameter. Result count shows how many lines of data were pulled in this report. I selected tag 6 for that too. I am coming to the screen. I am adding a text box to see the information. Let me place it like this. I am extending its length as the file path can be long. In the values section, I selected the relevant tag to show the last recorded file path. I am connecting tag 6 to the other one. Here we will see the total number of lines in the report. I press the Create Report button again. PDF opened. Excel opens. And the path of the last recorded file appeared on the screen. There were a total of 2,919 lines of data in the report. Now let's change the date range and reduce the number of data. Let the number of lines drop. Let's take a report again. Files are opening again. Look, This time there are only 313 lines of data in the report, and the new file path is also updated. As a final topic, I will explain taking automatic reports. In many applications, at the end of the day, end of the month, or in certain periods, it is requested to generate automatic reports without operator intervention. Triggers are used for this purpose. We add a new line from the Triggers menu and select the time-based option. The time definition here is currently set to work every second. If we had made the last digit 0, it would work every 10 seconds when the last digit of the second is 0. Meaning at the 10th second, 20th second. However, what we need is to take the report every night at 12 o'clock. That's why we set the time to 0 o'clock. Now it will be triggered automatically every day at this time. Now let's come to the function part. We define the jobs to be done in order. First step, we need to set the end time to the current time. We use the now label for this. Now means current time. Second step, we select and create our report. Third step, we set the start time to now, meaning the end of this night, for the next day. Let's summarize the logic here again. The trigger works when it is midnight. First, we equate the end time of the report, the end time, to the current time. We take the report. Our job is done. Immediately after, to ensure the next day's start time, the start time, is correct, we equate it to the current time, 12 tonight, as well. Our lesson regarding the report module has ended. Thank you for watching.